I'm going to give you a demo of the Everlasting Options Theoretical Value tab. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead to the Everlasting Options tab on the left-hand side here. And what you'll see initially off the bat is you'll see a drop-down menu with the strike price of interest, the asset of interest, and whether this everlasting is a put or a call. So the cumulative table is going to show us the cumulative weight of all the options in the everlasting series. And then the next thing we have here is going to be the everlasting options value chart. So this is what's really interesting. So we have this data going all the way back to June 20th. So this is about 20 days of data, and this data updates hourly. So what we can see here is how the everlasting option performed here in pink. And then the blue histogram bars are going to be the funding payments. So the funding payments align with the right-hand side here, the right-hand axis, the y-axis, and then the valuation price aligns with the left-hand side. This is going to be the actual spot price or mark price of the everlasting option. So we can see that as Bitcoin was selling off in around June 22nd, we could see that the everlasting option rallied all the way to $3,100 from, call it sub 500, so around $400. And then it also endured a payment of $443 as well. So these payments are daily payments that occur each time that front option expires. And so we can sort of see how this thing performed. And so, it hit a low of $91, and, payments of $250 to kind of keep these things open, so on and so forth. So that's sort of the interesting part of this data tab is looking at how these options perform. We can go ahead and swap that for a everlasting call at a $32,000 strike price, and now we get the mirror image. So while that everlasting put was rallying, the call was losing a lot of value. So you can see that the call endured similar payment, $440, but had a price of $341. And then as Bitcoin rallied back near the end of the month, the end of June, we could see this everlasting option rallied all the way up to $4,500. And along the way, you have all these payments that occur, these daily funding rate payments. So this gives you a really good idea of how these everlasting options perform in different environments. And you can play around with the strikes, you can play around with puts versus calls, or the assets if you want to look at ETH everlasting options, so on and so forth. Here, if you scroll down some more, we have the composition table. So the composition table goes hour by hour, and what this is going to be the series of 9 options that expire daily. So again, we have theoretical options here because the exchange, in this case Deribit, doesn't have options that expire every single day of the year, so we have to interpolate these options. So we have expirations every day, and then we have the theoretical implied volatility for these options. Then we have the theoretical dollar price of these options, and now we have the weighted value of these theos to the everlasting option. So again, the first option has a weight of 50%, the second option has a weight of 25%, then 1/8, so on and so forth, all the way 9 options out. So the only difference between the composition table and the everlasting option is that the composition table is just the straight contribution of each theoretical option to the everlasting option. And again, like we explained in the explainer video, we need to scale up the everlasting option by dividing by the cumulative sum of n1 through 9.